I started mapping the Grand Canyon 1969, geologically speaking, that is, plotting all these rock formations on a map. And it took 22 years to map the entire Grand Canyon. That does not include some of the side canyons. They still are not mapped.
When you look at a landscape like this, you're kind of overwhelmed by so many things all at once, and you have to break it down into its various components. There are shapes of things like buttes and mesas and canyons and cliffs, the color of the rocks, whether the layers are tilted or flat, and each of those things tells us something about the geologic history.
And of course, your rock formations are a different hardness. So you have cliffs for harder rocks, and you have the slopes for the softer rocks.
So that affects the weathering patterns.
The weathering of the rock, yes. The soft rock erodes more rapidly, so it makes a slope.
As we're walking along between the boundary between two rock units, or as we're observing one rock unit, we look very carefully at what the rock's made of in order to try to interpret its environment.
Okay, right here is the coconino sand, and this is the toroweep sand. But tools for geologic use, the Brunton compass I always carry because there's so much you can do with it as far as measurements are concerned. A hand lens, which is a little microscope. You can take a rock sample and hold it up real close to your face. Some of them appear to be frosted or at least shattered quite a bit, so that would indicate wind. But some of them are also clear. Binoculars, most important tool for this area.
So this is the Kaibab limestone, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is right here.
It looks like this thing's branching. If it's branching, presumably it'd be a rhizome rather than a... When we're trying to interpret the environment of a rock, we look at what the rock's made of. We look at the size and shape of any kind of fragments that are in it. We look at the color of the rock. We look at the kinds of fossils that are in the rock.
Little rhizome. You can see all the little individual cells in it.
What's amazing is what I'm sitting on really was a seafloor because the fossils are here. And by looking and examining the rock and the fossils, you can almost imagine, and this is what it takes to be a geologist, imagination, to sit and look at the rock and picture what it must have been like. The rock that these fossils are found in is in limestone. The pitted surface here is a result of raindrops erosion, which is a process that is constantly widening the Grand Canyon.
Once we've left the field, then we go back to the office, we compile our line work from our field maps onto a map back in the office. We prepare descriptions of the geologic rock units, and then we write a summary of what we've seen as the geologic history.
This is a negative for the topographic quadrangle that has all the information on the map.
Geologic maps are the most important piece of information for looking at geologic resources, where they occur, energy resources, oil and gas, water resources, copper, gold, diamonds, all of those things we find with geologic maps. One degree towards 266.
Okay, so we might have a slight dip on the beach sand here.
Yeah, maybe a very gentle dip in here. It's 20 degrees towards 208.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Take it up the top.
Yeah, why don't you get the top part there? See how long it is. Right up there.
Right up there.
Yeah, about 18 inches.
18 inches.
Right.